You're listening to Success Stalkers Radio, episode 27 with Rebekka Lien.
Hey everybody, this is Ian Floyd from the Love and Sensibility Podcast, and you're tuned into my girl Ioana Garrett on the Success Stalkers Radio Show.
Welcome to Success Stalkers Radio. I am your host, Ioana Garrett. People all over the globe are rewriting the rules to success. They're making money and changing the world. Join me Monday through Friday as I interview today's top entrepreneurs, business leaders, and entertainers that will leave you inspired to take action and achieve success on purpose. Are you ready? Let's dive right in. Okay, Success Stalkers, let's get started. I am your host, Ioana Garrett, and welcome to another episode of Success Stalkers Radio. I am simply thrilled and excited to introduce my guest today, Rebekka Lien. So, Rebekka, are you ready to stalk success today?
Yes, I am.
Awesome, good deal. Well, Rebekka Lien is a visionary entrepreneur, speaker, writer, artist, and real estate professional based in Los Angeles and born in Hamburg, Germany. She has solo backpacked to Australia, Ecuador, Brazil, Asia, and Europe. She's appeared on CBS, KTLA, commercials, and music videos. Rebekka Lien is a Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising alumni. She has more than 10 years of experience in the creative fashion industry. She encourages others to live a life of passion and risk through her monthly column on West Valley Journal, Coaching and Passion Projects. Her vision is to help others to be fueled by her life story of brokenness and healing. She is one individual you want to definitely keep your eyes on. So I've given our listeners just a little overview about you, Rebekka. So take a minute. Tell us about you personally because we want to get to know you. Then give us an overview of your business and success path.
Awesome. So my name is Rebekka Lien. I was actually born in Germany, and we moved to Taiwan when I was 5 years old. And at the age of 8, my mom, as a single mom, raised my brother and I, and we immigrated to LA, where, as an immigrant, you go through certain struggles, and whether it was financial or just, not fitting in. And so I found my own identity, I think, through this path. And, even in third grade, I was selling toys after school. And at 14, I was selling Avon in high school. And just kind of trying to build my own path and trying to find my own identity. And eventually, I quit my job in 2011. I was working in the fashion industry as a trim buyer, but I just thought this is not the way to live. I do not want to be stuck in a chair for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
I want to create something out of my life. And so I became a creative entrepreneur. I started selling jewelry after backpacking in Australia for a month. And just looking at the talents and gifts that I had and, how can I create a business out of my passions? And so eventually, after selling jewelry, I was teaching, cello, piano. I was teaching Mandarin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was teaching fashion design and sewing. And eventually, I thought about doing real estate, so I got into that. And so I think it's just doing what you love that's really important, and having a vision of why you do what you do. So that's a little about my story.
I love it, Rebekka. Wow, so you were destined to be an entrepreneur, right?
Yes,
Oh my
thank
gosh.
you. Thank you.
I listened to your story and I'm just so fascinated because, myself, I also became an entrepreneur when I was a teenager. And
Wow.
I love stories like this because it really, shows like as a child, when you see kids sometimes, doing things, a lot of parents don't really, kind of like fan the flames of that entrepreneurship in kids, because most times it starts really young, and I love that.
Thank you.
I love
Thank
that.
you.
Well, Rebekka, we're going to dive way deep into your journey a little later in the interview, but before we do, we always like to start Success Talkers Radio off with a success quote to really get that motivational ball rolling. So take it away.
So my success quote is, "You are the creator of your reality." No one else or nothing else is stopping you from creating the life you want. When I first came back from backpacking in Australia for a month and quitting my job, I went through a tremendous mindset transformation. And I realized that you can't blame other people. You can't blame the economy. You create the reality by the thoughts that you think. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that.
Absolutely. I love
Thank
that.
you.
You're so right on with that. Well, Rebekka, here at Success Talkers Radio, we are all about the story and the
Mm-hmm.
journey of our guests. And I know that you have had quite an amazing journey, and you're 26 years old, but you've already had an amazing journey. And I love that. And the best is yet to come for you. Surely it is. But what I want to focus on first and foremost is a possible failure, Rebekka, a challenge maybe that you had in your life where maybe you possibly fell flat on your face or even flat on your back. And I want you to take us there with you and then share a lesson that you learned from that failure.
Yeah, so I always think of failures as just stepping stones to success. And for me, it wasn't so much a failure, it was just, so I quit my job, and I had just, I backpacked to Australia with the savings I had. And I came back and thought, oh my God, I had to pay rent. How am I going to survive? And it was just this fear of, all these people saying, like, yeah, how are you going to survive? The economy's bad. And just not giving in to those lies about not being able to make it. And so I remember just going to my mom's house and basically looking for coins. Like, that's how desperate I was. And, I don't come up from a wealthy family. So, I've never gotten allowances when I was young. And so I found about $30 in coins, and I went to the bank and, put these little coins in the, coin wrappers. And
Hmm.
that's how I was able to pay my bills then. But I mean, I've just done so many things that I look back and, I mean, it was tough. Finding furniture on the side of the street, or even building my own desk. And just, it really humbles you. And you look back and you realize, you thank God every day because you're like, wow, I'm so glad I'm alive. And
Right. So blessed.
yes, yes. And so that was part of my story. And I think what I learned from it is that you should never give up. If you have a dream or a goal or a vision for your business or your life, um, just know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Like, it's always going to be a little difficult in the beginning, but as you continue in that path, um, you start to meet people who are like-minded and who have been through the same things. And so in the end, it's not really a failure. It's just a stepping stone.
Absolutely. While you were talking, I was just thinking, I'm like, every failure that, we as entrepreneurs that we experience, it really is. It's really a stepping stone,
Hmm.
the next stone that you step on to achieve your success. And so it's always directly linked to success. And I love your story. It's just and that's why we share stories here at Success Talkers Radio,
Hmm.
because our listeners resonate with that, because there's somebody out there listening that has probably gone through what you've gone through, or similar situation, similar story, so they can be inspired to say, okay, if she can make it, if she did
Hmm.
it, then I can certainly do it too. So that's one of the reasons why we believe that stories are so powerful
Hmm.
here. So yeah,
Exactly.
so thank you for sharing that.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Well, Rebecca, let's go forward and transition to the other end of the spectrum, which is what we call the aha moment. Because just like you've had, lessons that you've learned from failures, you've also had some amazing ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and I've heard quite a few of them already that when you were talking, and so that have helped you to become successful
Mm-hmm.
today. So share with us just one, Rebecca, if you can, and remember, this is a story. We want you to take us there
Mm-hmm.
with you. We want to feel like we were right there alongside of you when you experienced this aha moment, and then share with us the steps you took to turn it into success for yourself.
Yeah, I think my aha moments are always moments of actually letting go and letting the universe work. And that's very contrary to what most, entrepreneurs or business people talk about. It's all about pushing forward or, trying different tactics. But for me, I had an instance in my real estate career where, a deal wasn't going through. And, as real estate agents, we work on commission. So it's the same as any entrepreneurial career. And so, I had kind of put my hope into this one deal and, feeling pretty desperate, I think. And then at one point it fell through. And this happens a lot actually. And so it's this moment of despair and disappointment, like, oh wow, I put so many hours into this and how come it's not working out? And I've tried everything, I option A, B, C to Z,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're like, okay, why isn't this working? And then at one point you're like, okay, I think I'm supposed to just let it go and just let it be and let yourself just be content in that moment of I can't do anything and I'm not in control of my own life. So when I did that, and every time I do that, somehow, I go to the beach, I decide to just hang out with friends, relax, an influx of calls and opportunities start coming my way. So I'll be relaxing for 5 hours and then I'll check my phone and I've gotten voicemails from, business connections. I've gotten emails for people asking me to write for their newspapers. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that for me, those aha moments are just letting go and letting the universe work and receiving those opportunities.
That's so key because when you have to sometimes step away
Mm-hmm.
from it all, and then you can take another look at it objectively and see, okay, this is why this may not have been working, but it's always when you step away from it that you get a fresher
Mm-hmm.
look at things and things begin to change. In other words, your perspective
Yes,
changes.
yes.
So when your perspective changes, everything
Mm-hmm.
changes. I tell people that all the time. It really does work. Just change your
Mm-hmm.
perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Rebecca, let's shift for just a minute because we want to shine the spotlight on you for a minute, okay? Share with us one of your proudest entrepreneurial moments in your career or your business right now.
Right now. So right now, I have a yoga meditation class that I'm teaching, and my goal is to create space for people to be still and to stop striving. And I guide them through soothing meditations, which includes like letting go of negativity, unforgiveness, bitterness, so that they can receive, health and happiness. We all have, receiving receptors, but many of us have learned to defend ourselves by closing it off. So that's one thing I've been teaching. I teach it every Thursdays. Um, and as far as like entrepreneurial stepping stones, last year I leased out a property that, this client of mine said that all these realtors who were very professional and seasoned, they all said, we can't lease it for that price. You can only lease it for $2,000 less. And I went in as a new pretty much a new real estate agent, and I told her, I was like, I have faith that I can do this and I want it. Like, I want to do this and I will do whatever it takes to get it done. And I got it done.
Hmm.
And
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. And she was just like, I saw something in you, just this desire that nothing will stop you from getting it done. And I mean, it just meant a lot to me, I think, when someone believes in me. And, you know, sometimes as young women in this industry, it's tough to gain credibility, but you have to know who you are and have confidence. Yeah,
Absolutely. And tenacity. Definitely. You have
exactly,
tenacity.
exactly.
That's great. And you're right. As a young woman in business, it's really important for other women who are more seasoned, like you said,
Exactly,
to reach back,
exactly.
and to help. And I love women that do that. And I strive to put myself around, women like that because I'm that way.
Yes, yes.
I love to inspire and help others in business, especially women, because
That's
I am a
awesome.
woman.
Yay,
So
woman power.
we rock. So, Rebekka, we know that, being an entrepreneur can sometimes be a roller coaster of emotions. So, you can be up today and within the next 24 hours, you're frustrated, you're ready to quit, you're like, I can't do this. So, tell us, how do you keep your focus and keep that end result in mind each day?
Yeah, I think, um, well, first of all, it's important to center yourselves and for me, I meditate and I journal. So you have got to be your own cheerleader sometimes. People aren't going to know what you're going through. So you need to pat yourself on the back, like vocally and verbally out loud, like you're doing a good job. Like you just, tell yourself, I am proud of you. You're doing a good job. Keep going and don't give up. Like what you would tell your friend, basically. And you got to be your own best friend.
I agree. I agree.
And I think essentially too, you have to have a vision of what, like your mission statement. So for me, it's to live a passionate life of purpose and to help and empower others to live that life of passion. Um, yeah, you can't take yourself too seriously.
Right.
You've got to laugh. You've got to watch comedy.
Oh, yeah.
You have to celebrate life. Like even if things aren't going your way, go dance. Go have fun because if you focus on something for too long and too much, then you'll just get frustrated. And being an entrepreneur, I mean, isn't our goal to have freedom and to have happiness?
Yes.
So it's like so ironic, that we would, beat ourselves up and, not enjoy the life that we have now.
Right. I
So
agree.
you have to be happy where you are now, because otherwise, when you're successful, how are you going to be happy then and be grateful for what you have?
So true. Those little victories, those small victories.
Yes.
Every time like you said, pat yourself on the back. Because, as an entrepreneur, we have to do that because you don't
Mm-hmm.
always have, people cheering you on. And there are going to be times where you have people cheering you on. Then you're going to have those dark times where you feel like you're all by yourself. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to be strong enough and get strong enough to be able to encourage yourself. It's so important. And
Mm-hmm.
that comes through, I believe, through personal development, through
Mm-hmm.
reading,
Mm-hmm.
great books, and listening to, turning your car into a university,
Yes.
and putting some good information in your car for you to listen to on a daily basis, just versus just the radio, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So that's so important, so important. So thank you for sharing that, Rebekka. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Well, we're going to move a little further, and what I want to do is shift for just a moment. This is what we call the success round. And in our success round, what we do is I love this because with entrepreneurs, they have a lot of questions, when they're getting started in business, or some have already started a business, but maybe they're ready to try to take it to the next level. So not everyone has a mentor. So, here at Success Talkers Radio, we strive to bring people on like yourself who have attained some levels of success in business, that can reach back and, share your journey so others can be inspired and learn from what you've done. Um, So my first question, so what we're going to do, I want to throw some questions at you, Rebekka. Then I want you to come back at me with some knockout answers. Is that fair enough? All right.
Yes.
So we're going to do a little boxing match here. So what was it that held you back from becoming an entrepreneur before you got started?
So, I was born an entrepreneur, but for 9 months, I worked full time in the fashion industry. And what kept me back was, family and friends telling me that I should stay there for 1 year so that it would look good on my resume. And, I had worked in the industry for years already, but just as contractors or part-time basis. And I just thought, like, I reached 9 months and I was like, I can't, like, why should I work 1 year when my soul is dying here,
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times it's the fears of basically not being enough, not being able to prove to your family and friends that you can make it as an entrepreneur.
Because that's something that most entrepreneurs have. They have a lot of fears about different things. Not everybody's fear is the same. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a big one. So what is the best business advice you've ever received, Rebekka?
Best business advice is to go after what you want without thinking too much.
That's good. That's great advice. Because if you think long, you think wrong. So
Yeah. Don't
sometimes you can
think,
say,
just do.
yeah, just do. That's good.
Yeah.
Don't think, just do. Success stalkers. You heard that? You heard it from Rebekka Lien. So, Rebekka, can you share one of your daily personal habits that you believe attributes to your success?
Definitely centering myself, whether it's through yoga or meditation, and just being still for, 10 minutes and stopping all striving, basically. So, being still and listening to the better voice, which tells you, hey, you're doing a good job, and then also being still sometimes will give you the ideas and advice that you've been wanting. So a lot of times it's this divine connection, I think, that keeps me going.
That's good. That's good. Well, do you have an internet resource or business tool or maybe an app or something that you enjoy using with your business that's helping you to grow your business that you can share with our listeners?
Yeah, so I use Facebook a lot. I have almost 2,000 friends on Facebook. And I noticed that just sharing my life with people has helped to market my businesses. And Craigslist actually is a great tool in which
Okay.
I've generated lots of leads for my business.
Oh, great. That's good. Okay. Well, what books are you excited about? What book could you recommend to our listeners today?
I love this question. I There's a new book called The Law of Divine Compensation on Work, Money, and Miracles by Marianne Williamson. And she has a really great quote. It says, as an expression of divine perfection, the universe is both self-organizing and self-correcting. To whatever extent your mind is aligned with love, you will receive divine compensation for any lack in your material existence.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's on my list
Yeah.
now for sure.
Yeah. So,
That sounds like a great book.
yeah. And I totally believe in, you know, you're either living in love or fear. There's not a lot of in betweens.
Hmm.
And a lot of a lot of people live out of lack. Even if they have a lot, they don't feel like they're enough. And so being an entrepreneur is like not waiting to be successful to feel like you're enough, because you're enough right now as you are. And so living out of that abundance mentality will help to make you even more successful in the mind, in the spirit, and like physically as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And being enough makes you successful. That's how you
Yes.
become successful because you are enough.
Mhm.
It's not the other way around, you know.
Mhm.
And I had to learn that,
Mhm.
as a young entrepreneur, and then of course, I'm seasoned now, but
Mhm.
when I initially started, that's what I thought. I thought I you know, had to be all these things before
Mhm.
I could be successful. And it's just an imposter syndrome. It's so far from the truth. Like you said earlier, it's just lies,
Mhm.
that, comes to your mind, and that those suggestions that come in, and you're like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. But, you are more than enough entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
success stalkers. You are more than enough.
Yes, you
So,
are.
yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Well, one question I do want to ask before I ask our last question, Rebekka, is, I know that you are a success stalker. So tell us, do you have any new projects that you're working on? Because I know as an entrepreneur, we always have something going on. We always have things that we're working on. You have anything new you want to share with us?
Yes, I do. So I've been taking, commercial acting classes, and there's a lot of shows like HGTV or, million dollar listings, TV shows that are out there. And my goal is to be on those real estate shows. And so I've been making the connections and, auditioning and trying out for these shows. So
That's
hopefully
awesome.
you'll see me on TV soon.
Yes, I know. I have a feeling. I have a strong feeling that we
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
The kind of person you are, Rebekka, with your tenacity and your go get it attitude, I know that we will definitely see you on television very, very soon on one of your shows, if not your own show. So, yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
You are so welcome. I can't wait. I can't wait. Well, our last question in the success round, Rebekka, is I want you just to relax for just a moment because I want you to imagine that you woke up tomorrow morning in a brand new world. And let's say you had to start your business all over again. And let's say that you're in a new world, but it's identical to Earth, but you don't know anyone. You still have all of your same experience, your same knowledge. And let's say your food is taken care of, your shelter's taken care of, you have a car, you have all your needs met, but all you have is just $500 and a laptop. What would you do within the next 7 days?
That sounds amazing. I would honestly rest for the next 7 days. And, I haven't had an actual vacation for a long time. As you know, as entrepreneurs, we're always working, and our minds are always working. And since my shelter and food is already taken care of, I don't really need to worry about, earning money. So in this case, I would build a website and write an ebook. And then I would automate basically the sales system. And then I would go, travel this brand new world and meet new people and make the connections that I want to make. Because I've solo backpacked to a lot of places, and
Mhm.
I love meeting new people. Um, so I think that's great. Your shelter and food is taken care of. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
life's good if those things are taken care of. So
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
focus on the important things, right?
yeah, yeah.
So I'm glad you said that, Rebekka. Let's stay there for just a minute because, I really want our listeners to understand that, and the reason why we ask this question is that there's a method to the madness, believe me, why
Mm,
we ask this question, because as an entrepreneur, it is critical for you to get out and to make connections and to meet people and build relationships. So that is how you have to build your business, because you're in the people business,
yeah.
at least I pretty much would imagine that every business, you
Mhm.
have to deal with people. So you need to make those relationships and those connections. So that is why we ask that question. And I love your answer because, all of our guests, they pretty much answer the same way. They get out and, go meet some people, just basically
Mhm.
find a solution to the problems that are out there. So, and you
Mhm.
can create a business around it and start over from scratch. If you lost it all, you can
Mhm.
start all over again.
Yeah, and I find that the best business connections I've ever made is when I'm out and I'm having fun. I've met people on airplanes that I've ended up working for. I've met people in bathrooms. Um, So I believe in having an open mind. Like, if you feel like getting coffee, there's probably a reason. Like, if you feel like stopping at a cafe, because you're hungry, there's probably a reason. You're probably going to meet someone that you're supposed to meet.
Right. Right. Exactly. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's happened to me before.
Yes.
It's nothing is by chance. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everything is divine. It's
Yes.
divinely. I feel like everything happens for a reason. So most
Me
definitely.
too. Yeah.
Well, Rebekka, I tell you, it's been a joy having you on our show today and just hearing about your journey. And I want to, hear more about your solo backpacking. We'll have to get you back on the show soon, to hear more about that, unless you want to share something about that right now.
Yeah, so I mean, 2012, I went to Ecuador to visit a boy I was sponsoring.
Okay.
And I mean, that was just so fulfilling to do that. And I think that the reason behind it was because, I didn't see my dad for 10 years. And to me, making that trip was showing to myself, yes, I don't know this kid, but he's worth me traveling overseas
Hmm.
to see him. And I needed to do that in order to heal my own heart. And so I think that life isn't just about, your entrepreneurial business or trying to make money or trying to make a difference. It's actually a lot about your own healing journey of transformation and healing the wounds so that you can move forward, even in your business.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I love that. So glad I asked you that because, it's true what you say, that it's really about our journey. And, once you're healed, you can make a bigger difference in the world, in your business and just, in other people's lives. So that's really what it all boils down to, and at least that's what I think. So thank you for sharing. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much. It's certainly inspiring. And, before we end, Rebekka, if you can, just give our listeners a parting piece of advice and guidance, and then share the best way they can find you, and then we'll say goodbye.
Awesome. First of all, it's been awesome just being on this radio show.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're so sweet. Yeah, I think definitely before you do anything, ask yourself why. So dig as deep as you can with that question. Why do you want to do what you want to do? Whether it's for freedom or to help people, you got to have something deeper than just making money because that will sustain you. And so that's my advice for everyone out there.
Love it.
And then how you can reach me is I have a website. So it's www.RebekkaLien. So it's RebekkaLien.com. So there's an easy way to remember that. So it's Rebekka, REBKK, and then alien.
I like it.
And you can also follow me on Instagram. It's just the same thing, Rebekka Lien. I'm on Twitter as well. So Rebekka and then _Lien. And my Facebook page is facebook.com and then /houseslady. And yeah, I would love to hear from you. And then you can also reach me on email. So it's RebekkaLien@gmail.com.
Great, great. Well, Rebekka, I know our listeners have gotten some great takeaways and nuggets from you today. I know I certainly have. And they can also find those links and, to everything that you just mentioned and everything we've been chatting about today at successstalkersradio.com/Rebekka Lien. So it'll all be there on the show notes page.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Well, we really appreciate you for your generosity and for your time today, Rebekka. So we say thank you. So thank you for being with us today.
You're welcome. I had a lot of fun.
Good, good.
Yeah.
And for everyone out there listening, thanks so much for tuning in. And until our next episode, keep stalking success. Well, that'll do it for another episode of Success Stalkers Radio. If you'd like to hear more from these inspiring entrepreneurs and entertainers, be sure to subscribe to the Success Stalkers Radio podcast on iTunes. And if you found value in this episode, give us a review, hopefully 5 stars. You may also visit us at successstalkers.com. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you.